is mine.
Depend on what you do next.
Hello there, dads, grads, and everybody in between. June is here, and with it a ton of massive new video games. Usually this month is pretty slow game release wise, but this year that is not the case, so buckle up. Here are the biggest games coming out in June. Before we get started, a heads up, we are producing this video before the numerous gaming showcases and events that are happening this month, so it's very possible that some games get surprise June release dates. Just full disclosure. Anyway,
revenge is a weapon.
On June 1st, Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection gives the first 3 entries in the classic dungeon crawler series a fresh coat of paint for Nintendo Switch and PC. Also that day on those platforms, plus the Xboxes, PlayStations, and MetaQuest, is Killer Frequency, a horror adventure that puts you in the shoes of a late-night radio DJ. Skatebird is a game about a bird on a skateboard, and after hitting Switch and Xbox and PC last year, it is coming to PS4 and PS5 on the 1st as well. On June 2nd, Street Fighter VI, Hadouken, Sonic Booms, and Spinning Bird kicks its way onto the PlayStations, Xboxes, and PC. A new installment of Street Fighter is always exciting for hardcore fans of the long-running series, but this one might be worth checking out for casual players too. There's a substantial single-player world tour mode that has you creating a custom character and then globe-trotting around various cities across the globe, fighting your way through the streets, hopefully sampling some of the local delicacies along the way, which in Mike Hagar's town is probably a roast chicken you found in a garbage can. That same day is also Super Mega Baseball 4 on everything, wherein goofy-ass cartoon video game people play baseball and have a fun time, and it makes me very happy that we still get sports games like this, in addition to the ones where there are like realistic sweat physics and entire sub-games about ballpark management that have you stressing about hot dog prices in addition to your usual RBIs and bunts and whatnot. Still on June 2nd is We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie, which gives the original Katamari Damacy's 2005 sequel a fresh overhaul plus a bunch of new features, and this really does seem like a great summer game, especially for those exceptionally hot days when you want to move as little as humanly possible, but you still want to make a little guy run around on a screen collecting a bunch of crap. Another game that you can make a little guy run around collecting a bunch of crap is Diablo IV, the long-awaited sequel to Diablo II that old school fans were kind of hoping Diablo III was going to be, but in any case, this looks to be an utterly massive game that'll be getting a steady stream of updates and new content, which is great because this year has been kind of light in terms of massive games. Haha, I'm just kidding. When the f am I gonna play this game? Anyway, that's on PC and all the consoles that don't say Nintendo on them. On June 8th, you got Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, which is the new visual novel from Don't Nod. That's the studio behind Life is Strange, Tell Me Why, and Vampire, and this looks to continue that studio's tradition of having important player choices inform the narrative big time. That's on Switch and PC, and it'll be coming to the newer consoles later this month on the 22nd. If you burn through that in less than a week and need another very French narrative adventure, there's Dordogne, and holy hell this game is pretty. This doesn't look like a Studio Ghibli movie, it looks like Hayao Miyazaki's watercolor concept art for one. Watercolors are a pain in the ass to begin with, so I imagine making a video game look like them is even more so. That's on everything on the 13th. On the 15th, you can court yourself some husbandos and or waifus in Jack Genie, a visual novel coming to Switch that centers around an all-male opera troupe where the dudes play female roles. Sounds ribald. Also on the 15th is Fall of Porcupine. This one gives me Major Night in the Woods vibes, but it takes place in a hospital, mostly. So instead of playing as a teenage cat exploring her depressing small town, you're a medical professional pigeon who's exploring a depressing hospital, which also happens to be in a depressing small town. That sounds notably less ribald, but also I love Night in the Woods, so I'm into this. It's like Richard Scarry for the Wellbutrin crowd. Anyway, that's on everything. Layers of Fear collects both of Bloober Team's psychological horror games in one package, giving them a fresh coat of Unreal Engine 5 paint, and it also includes an all-new story called The Writer that ties them both together. That's on new-gen consoles and PC on the 15th. If you're one of those people who's suddenly gotten really into F1 racing, or one of those people who's always been really into it, great news because F1 23 hits the PlayStations, Xboxes, and PCs on the 16th, and it continues the Breaking Point story mode introduced way back in F1 21. That very same day, there's also Park Beyond, a theme park building and management sim from the team behind Tropico 6, and if you think regular theme parks aren't fun enough, this one aims to let you get totally nuts and build the wildest rides you can imagine with complete and utter disregard for human safety. That's on new gen and PC. On the 20th, Aliens Dark Descent puts a new spin on the beloved franchise, and while plenty of games have put you boots on the ground to blast some xenomorphs, this one is really more ass in the chair, taking a real-time strategy approach where you boss around a squad of Marines instead of getting your hands dirty yourself. But that also means managing their physical and mental well-being, so if one of your dudes starts yelling, "Game over, man, game over," you gotta make him calm down and secure that shit, Hudson.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Honestly, I'm a pretty hard sell for strategy, but I love Aliens, and if this plays like a fast-paced XCOM with a bunch of nervous breakdowns thrown in for good measure, I'm extremely down. That's on everything but Switch. If you have 3 friends and 4 mortal enemies and you all love Crash Bandicoot, well, first of all, that's a kind of bizarre dynamic, but hey, second of all, great news for all parties involved because Crash Team Rumble is a 4v4 strategic platformer featuring all your favorite Crash characters as they see who can collect the most Wumpa Fruit and kick each other's asses in the process. That's also out on the 20th, also for everything but Switch. On June 22nd, Final Fantasy XVI is out exclusively for PS5, for the time being anyway, and if you haven't figured out what a Final Fantasy game is at this point, or whether or not they're for you, I don't know what to tell you. This time around they're keeping it classical medieval fantasy, and it's not open world, which is kind of scaled back from what FF15 was doing, where you're driving around in a monster truck wearing a snowboarding jacket and trying to get more cup noodle soup or whatever, but hey, it's keeping the combat real time. I just learned today that in the Japanese version of Final Fantasy XVI, they apparently refer to the chocobos as horses, which is very weird. I don't know what's going on there. Sonic Origins Plus comes to everything on the 23rd, and it's the library of classic games that was included in Sonic Origins, plus 12 of that Hedgehog's Game Gear games, plus a bunch of add-on content that was notoriously paywalled in a completely confusing manner when the game was first released. If you did buy regular Sonic Origins, or rather Sonic Origins Minus, you can buy the Plus content as an expansion, or you can just write a pissed off email to Sega, whichever, or you can just get on with your life. I don't know, I'm not a Sonic fan. He's cool, don't get mad at me. Don't write me mean emails. Anyway, that's on everything. On the 27th, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed brings the remaster of the 2006 game to Xbox One and PS4, and it unfortunately will not feature the 2-player co-op mode that the new gen releases had when they released last year, but at least it's discounted to $30 to reflect that. Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life is the latest in the long-running farming and life simulator series, formerly known as Harvest Moon, and this one in particular happens to be a full remake of the 2003 installment that came out for GameCube. In this timeless tale, things aren't going so hot, and financial troubles have driven your character to contemplate taking their own life. But wait, a helpful angel arrives to show you how Christmas would have been without you in it, or alive. Actually, that's the plot of It's a Wonderful Life. I'm assuming the game is probably less bleak and has you harvesting more gourds and picking roses and whatnot. That's on new gen Switch and PC on the 27th as well.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
On June 28th, AEW Fight Forever lets wrestling fans dive from the top rope into a bottomless pit of ass-kicking. Maybe I'm getting old, but this game sounds exhausting. All Elite Wrestling, Fight Forever? How about mostly competent roughhousing? Fight for a little while until someone gets tired and needs to take a break. Anyway, that's coming to everything. You kids have fun with that. No, don't roughhouse too much. No horsing around. I'm just kidding. Have fun. Kick each other's asses. I don't care. June 30th is a weirdly big day for mysteries. There's Crime O'Clock on PC and Switch, which has you solving cases through time exploration. Also on Switch is Master Detective Archives Rain Code, which is a dark fantasy mystery from the folks behind Danganronpa. And there's also Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which remasters the now classic Nintendo DS game, which has you playing as a ghost trying to solve his own murder with the help of, among other things, a darling Pomeranian dog. That's now on basically everything. If you hate mysteries and would rather just make some maracas go cha-cha-cha, Samba de Amigo Party Central also hits the Switch that day, so get shaken, or whatever you do. Slated for a vague sometime in June release is Crime Boss Rockhaze City, that star-studded shooter that landed on PC with a wet thud earlier this year, and now it's threatening to make its way to new-gen consoles. As of recording this video, it has an official launch trailer on the official PlayStation YouTube channel, but it doesn't actually have a launch date in it. It just says coming soon in the video. Meanwhile, Cricket 24 is supposed to come out in June, but it doesn't even have a trailer. So presumably that's about the sport, but it doesn't have a trailer, so who knows? Maybe they'll shake things up and it'll be a Kafka-esque spin on that Kiefer Sutherland show where Jack Bauer suddenly awakes to find himself transformed into a giant cricket, and he's got one day to not be a cricket anymore. I'm sorry, that was a stupid joke. That's coming to the non-Nintendo consoles if it even comes out at all. Who knows? And on that note, I think we're good. Unless, of course, they surprise launch GTA 6 during Jeff Keighley's big summertime video games festival. What are you playing this month? What did we forget about? And what is your favorite thing to eat at a cookout? I'm a big hot dog man myself, and I got a hot dog spiralizer. And that thing is really cool. It's a huge game changer if you can get over the fact that it looks like a medieval sex toy made by Fisher-Price. On that note, I'll see you all in July. Check out all the IGN Summer of Gaming stuff going on all month long. Are they gonna announce Bloodborne 2? Probably not. Will I drown my sorrows in hot dogs? You betcha. See you later.